Good evening. I'd like to call the April 14th, 2021 work session to order. Please rise and pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Colleen, will you please call roll?
Mr. Ambrose.
Present.
Mr. Bloom.
Here. Here.
Mr. Mellon.
Here.
Mr. O'Neill.
Here.
Mr. Ross.
Here.
Dr. Eunice. Mr. Zaritsky.
Here.
Ms. Belcastro.
Here.
The board met this evening from approximately 6:45 to 7 p.m. For executive session, during which they received information from the superintendent without further deliberation.
And at this time, there are no comments, public comments.
Great.
So
We just got one in.
one.
So someone,
One just came in.
Yeah.
Do you want to read this now? Or do you want to read it at the end? And format that, please?
It is. I can read it right now.
That's
There's a comment from Amanda Rogers, 3152 Main Street, Aliquippa. Question is, will information about the elections for school board be posted or go out, including information about which regions people are in? I think that's usually information that would come from the county
Correct.
and the county elections bureau or election division. If you have a question as to which region you are in, I think they would be the ones to direct that question to, and they can tell you, which jurisdiction you're in.
All right. Minutes to approve the voting session minutes from the March 18th, 2021 meeting. Any discussion on item one? King, treasurer's report.
Following bills and reports are submitted for approval. Pay bills. A, pay bills. Number one, confirm the March 2021 general fund payments in the amount of $2,878,416.29. Number two, confirm the March 2021 cafeteria fund payments in $1,124.52. B, the report to approve the March 2021 Berkheimer report.
Discussion on those? Okay, and back to agenda items, board policy items. One, to approve the resolution 2020-06, approving the withdrawal of the Midland Borough School District from membership in the Beaver County Career and Technology Center.
Yes. Question. What's up with that?
I don't sit on that. I'm not on the board, so I'm not privy to all of the information, but my understanding is that part of the original articles included Midland as one of the schools involved in CTC. The Midland high school students go to Beaver, so they're just being billed through Beaver instead of being billed through Midland. So they're being accounted for through Beaver now. So they're changing the.
I thought it might involve that new tech school they're building down there.
I did not hear that. Mr. Rosendale, Dr. Rosendale, certainly could give him a call, but I'm not aware that that's the reason. My understanding, from what I heard from Mr. Whitez, who runs the CTC, that it was due to the fact that the students from Midland go to Beaver, and that's how they're accounted for the program.
That is correct.
Oh, hi, Doc. I didn't see you there.
Under
I would have went right to you.
No problem.
building down in
Yes.
oh, I thought maybe the opening day.
I will say this, there's potentially another agenda item to be added under board policy next week. John and I have been working with the nutrition group to finalize a budget proposal for next year. We do this every year, and then we bring the budget to the board. The difficulty in this year's budget a little bit is the fact that these last 2 years have been completely upside down with regards to food service. Last year, we went in March and did not have any students in the building from March till the end of the year. We still employed people. We tried to feed people remotely. But obviously we did not do the type of business that we've done in the past. And we're going to see a pretty big loss from that. Similar with this year, although we are face to face, a large percentage of the population, depending on what building you're in, are not coming to the school physically on a day-to-day basis. Even though we have done everything we can with regards to providing meals for students that are virtual and home and so on and so forth, we're just not doing the volume that we've done in the past. So we're trying to create a budget that takes into account the fact that the volume is down. And how do you predict what the volume is going to be next year? Not knowing, is everybody going to be back? Are all the kids going to be back in school? So we're kind of going back and forth on that budget part. Although it is just a budget, we still want to do our diligence to make sure that we come in as close as we think that we're going to land. So we're working on that. We'll might have something for next week. Anything else you want to add to that?
That's correct.
If there was nothing in negotiations, so we are going to go to Mr. Ross for education.
Number one, to approve, confirm the release time staff development request. The conference using sound walls in primary classroom, virtual BVIU. The individuals are listed and the date is listed 4/14/2021.
Question? Technology, unless you have something to add.
Nothing, thanks.
And athletics, Mr. King.
The athletic committee is recommending to retain the following winter sports coaches for the 2021-2022 school year. Boys basketball, Brandon Ambrose. Girls basketball, Chris Rasso. Cheerleading, Heather Semavoski. Swimming, Larry Polochak. Gymnastics, Terry Gazda. Wrestling, Kevin Morose.
With regards to athletic committee, I know the committee, we're looking to get a date together to get the committee together. I talked to Sam. I know Sam has talked to you, Tom, I believe. I'm looking at probably something around the week of May 3rd through the 7th. I'll have Sam get a hold of you and see if that works.
Anything unless I have a doctor.
And the other committee members are Luck and Dennis. So looking at something probably the week of May 3rd. Well, I'll have Sam coordinate that.
Extracurricular activities, Dr. Yunus.
To approve the following individuals and stipends pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances in the Central Valley High School musical presentation. The personnel are all listed A through J with their stipends. Note the orchestra personnel will be submitted after the musical due to the availability of musicians for practice and performances, but it will be highly unlikely that we will use all full orchestra. And then we also have a field trip, Beaver County CTC, the high school students on 4/20/2021.
And we've really not been doing field trips, but obviously our kids are going to get over to the Career Technical Center, part of the orientation program, take a look at it, see if that's of interest to them. So we're going to move ahead with that. Mr. McCreary, I don't know if you just wanted to give maybe a 30-second synopsis on the musical. Yes.
The musical's gonna be done a little differently this year based on the fact that we don't want to have a huge cast due to the pandemic. So we're gonna have 4 showings versus 3, but 2 of them are gonna be the same. We have a cast that's going to do 2 evenings, and we have a second cast that's going to do the same show for 2 evenings. It's our ability to get more students involved without having all those kids on the stage at one time. So we're thinking that's going to work out really well. We're going to be able to allow small crowds with parents. We're also going to stream it, video, and have it on the website for people to view. So hopefully that goes off really well. We're looking forward to it. It's different. It's different doing it that way. We're also going to stream it. I talked with Mrs. Rico and Mr. Petrie Antonio today, and we're looking to put something together to even send to the other buildings or talk with the other principals if there's something they wanted to show to their kids. 1, for them to enjoy it. 2, as a way to promote the musical for kids coming up into the high school, specifically in the middle school for next year. So that's how we're gonna run the music. We're a little later this year. We're usually late February, early March. Now we're late April, early May, but we're trying, well, I'll go over some of those things at the end. Yeah.
What is a musical?
Is there a specific date?
Yes, they are.
Charlie Brown.
April 29th and 30th, May 1 and May 2.
And the theme?
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown, I'm sorry, yes, Snoopy. I'm thinking Snoopy, it's not called Snoopy, Charlie Brown, yes. Let's call it Snoopy, I'm sorry.
I missed that football. I think the important thing is the kids are having the opportunity to perform.
Yes, yeah.
You know, which in my opinion is the most important thing. And sounds like we're going to be able to permit some of the family members to come as well, based on how you spread that out,
We have a 4 showings, there's more opportunities.
which is important to me, is important to us. I have been and will always be an advocate for the parents having an opportunity to see their children perform, whether it's on the stage, on the field, wherever the case may be. So I'm looking forward to it and glad that we've been able to come up with a game plan that allows us to still do that. So good work.
Okay. Buildings and grounds, Mr.
Number one, to approve, confirm the following building usage request pending final approval from the superintendent regarding the review of the organization's health and safety plan as well as the liability waiver sign off. There is the building, the organization, the date and the purpose. Also, we have scheduled next Wednesday, April 21st for Building and Grounds Committee meeting / walkthrough. Around 1 o'clock, we will meet here, and then we were going to tour the high school and the middle school. Encourage the principals that have some things that they want the committee to look at so that we could try to identify some capital projects, some capital expenditures, try to get a budget together to bring back to the board for our recommendations for approval. That's all I have.
Meet here or in?
Here, I'll send a calendar invite. I'll send an invite. Yeah, we'll start down there.
Anything else? Okay. Personnel items, Mr. Bloom.
Yeah, we'll be looking to approve the retirement of Robert Latours, custodian, effective April 30th, 2021. Number 2, to approve an FMLA request for an elementary teacher, March 24th, 2021 through June 4th, 2021. Number 3, to approve an FMLA request for an elementary teacher from March 24th, 2021 through June 4th, 2021. Anything else, Dr. Perry?
I'll have 2 additions as of right now. One's going to be a resignation of one of our paras. And the other one's going to be an additional FMLA request for one of our paras.
Else? Finance, Mr. Anthony.
Number 1, to approve resolution 2021-2022. The Beaver County Career and Technology Center's general fund budget of $6,234,249.
Dr. Perry?
I really don't have much tonight. We're about 7 weeks left in the school year. Gonna continue to remind folks to be diligent with your mitigation efforts, as we want to try to finish up the year in a positive way by continuing to be here every day.
Perry, we'll start with you.
Just that, as Dr. Perry said, we're down to 7 weeks here. We're getting a very busy time in the high school with AP testing, Keystone testings in the month of May. We also are trying to afford our students the opportunity to have as many normal activities as they've had in the past, minus last year, obviously. We've attempted to have a more, that doesn't look like that's going to go based on participation interest. I went over the musical information. We're having our awards assembly on May the 6th, prom on the 7th. We have a concert on the football field on the 11th. I'm going to share this all out with the board on our important dates document. We're almost done finalized. We are going to have an NHS induction on the 13th of May. Now that we're allowed to have 25% in the auditorium, where it's allows enough to have parents in there. We have a National Honor Society induction. We're gonna do a chorus concert. It's gonna be different. We're gonna do it on the front steps out front, and people are gonna bring lawn chairs, and we're gonna try that in May. We're gonna have our typical honors evening, a little bit different. We're not gonna have food, but it's gonna be another honors evening. And then we're gonna go ahead with our senior banquet, a baccalaureate, and then commencement. As I shared that information out for those that participated in commencement already on the football field on the 4th. So we're gonna attempt to make it as normal as possible for our kids. This senior class has missed out on quite a bit, almost everything in the end of the year last year, and now things throughout this year. So, you know, I think our district has been very progressive. Dr. Perry has allowed us to do as much as we can for our kids and giving them some sense of a good ending to their high school career, specifically our seniors. So hopefully they all take advantage of all this. So that's all I have. Mark, anything?
No, I'm just excited to see the next 7 weeks rather. We're gonna have all these assemblies, activities, and ceremonies all coming back. So really looking forward to that end of the school year.
We'll share these dates out with everyone should they want to know what they are.
I have a quick question. How did they handle the SAT this year today?
We had an SAT test. We hosted it here. We had some social distancing, different rooms, different, we had more proctors. We just couldn't put them all in one room, but we did have the SAT test here in March, and it went well.
A lot of participants.
Yeah.
They can't do anything like a project graduation still because of the,
So we're doing a project graduate here. That's gonna be look somewhat different too. They're gonna use the cafeteria and they're gonna use similar to what we're doing with what we plan to do with the morgue, which is like it's gonna go is we're gonna use that where kind of everyone's parked out front of the high school. We're gonna close that off. The DJ will be outside. We're gonna use the outside part of the building. They'll come in for project graduation to eat. We have the partitions on the tables already. So that should be a safe environment for them. And then we'll use the outside area for the activities and such. So it won't be the same. It probably won't be as nice, but it will be
they'll have
more
something.
than nothing. Yeah.
That's great. That's good.
Intended to improve the building usage. And I just want to, all the activities that we're talking about, and the other folks are going to talk about things in their buildings as well. We're doing the best we can to remain with mitigation, masking, temperature checks, all those things that we have done all year long, which allowed us to be successful. We're not going to waver from that. We're going to continue to do those things as we move forward.
Dolph?
I'm gonna echo Mr. McCray quite a bit. Staff and students are ready for PSSA testing, so we've been prepping our books and our last minute blitzes and everything, getting ready for testing on Monday. So we'll be testing for the next 2 weeks. Just a lot of planning and things going on right now. We have our 2 choral band concerts coming up. One will be inside the middle school gymnasium. The other one will be up here at the high school stadium. And we're planning our awards ceremony on May 24th, Monday night. That'll be down at the high school stadium. Trying to do a lot of things outdoors. Every year we have our field day at the end of the year. So this year we broke it up. So we're having a carnival that's broken up into 2-hour increments. Where we have all kind of carnival games and things that we're able to sanitize and give kids tickets and go through. So we're planning on doing that towards the end of the year. And then just the normal housekeeping stuff. We have our building and grounds walk next week. So we're looking, getting everything lined up for that, things that need to be addressed. Our middle school program of studies, our handbooks for next year. We're on week 3 of our bocce. So our unified bocce did kick off a couple weeks ago. The kids are having a phenomenal time with that. It's going outstanding. A lot of fun. It'll be nice once we get more of the student body involved. Right now, there's just the 12 or so student athletes in there participating with mentors. It'll be nice once we start to get some fans and things. Kids are doing a nice job. Today was our biggest in-person that we've had in weeks. We were a little over 60%, I believe. So I'm anticipating as we finish out the year that we get more and more bodies back in the building. And like he said, get a lot of things back to normal with our award ceremonies, our concerts that we had to cancel in December, the carnival, all of those things where we're able to recognize our students and do, some things that we consider normal over the past couple of years. Lastly, we were contacted by the National Schools to Watch for their upcoming yearly recognition. So we should be receiving a banner. We already received our plaque. Casey and I have a bunch of requirements in which we need to submit best practices and all of the things that qualified us to become a Schools to Watch. So we've been putting all that paperwork together, a presentation to present for the Schools to Watch National Conference. So there's been a lot of planning and paperwork, but everything's going really well down to middle school.
Mr. Belcast, one thing I failed to mention, today we got word, I think this is the 8th or 9th year in a row. Seventh, is that what it is? That the district has been awarded best communities in music education nationally again. So a lot of credit to our people that work in the music department, in the arts.
So both things that you talked about are national recognition. I mean, that's around the country. I think the music is one of 683 schools around the country recognized, and I can't.
400.
I think it's like 340, something like that. The middle school, one of 340 schools around the country to be recognized. That's our third consecutive recognition for our Schools to Watch over a 3-year period of time. And I believe it's dating back to 2015 that our music program has been recognized. And those folks do a great job. So very proud.
Congratulations.
I know it may be a little premature, Mr. Dolph, since we're going to be coming down next week, but I heard how are we making out with some of the issues that we've been facing down at the middle school, you know, from the flood and some other?
We knew from the beginning, a lot of that will have to be addressed during the summer. We are having some issues with just noise traveling between valves during testing and some things that we've been able to move some kids around, being that we hit the bottom of the out. There's really no filter going between some spots. But we're getting by. We're making.
We try to cover up. We try, as you know, they cut out.
Yeah, with the water damage, right?
So that it doesn't mold. And there's obviously space between some of the rooms. We tried to put down some barrier between them, but it's not the same as putting drywall back up. So we do have an estimate to get that taken care of. That'll be part of the discussion of the building and grounds.
Thank you.
And then Casey's not here this evening. She had professional development classes today, and I told her not to come back to the district. So.
Ms. Faragati?
I have some of the same things also. I did want to mention in March, we all celebrated all the buildings Mental Health Awareness Month. So we planned activities for our students and our teachers just for awareness of mental health. At time, we also are prepping for PSSAs. Our exams begin on Monday too, so that's the English part. And then we're starting to plan events like to get some normalcy back for our students. So we're looking at having a school-wide spelling bee. We are putting the final touches on event day. We have a few assemblies scheduled. The band and choral concert also will be scheduled May 26th with a rain date of May 27th and our award ceremony.
So Carla's not here today, the death of the family, so she couldn't make it this evening. I excused her. Mrs. Park, you want to talk about Center Grange?
Center Grange,
You're over there a lot.
yeah. They might take PSSAs. But I do believe they're planning a grand finale day for later this year, and they're trying to do similar things. I think they were doing some type of sing-along, but I don't know.
Yeah, they were trying to do a sing along in each of the classes and do something online for the parents to be able to watch it as well. And you're correct, they are planning a grand finale for the end of the year. Kindergarten registration's coming up. That's the NFL Combine of kindergarten. So that starts. I don't know when the first date is. We're doing it over several days. So I know they're busy. Planning for. Thank you, Mrs. Park. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Well, Mrs. Parks, do you have anything else to share?
Sure, I can add that we are running our unified track and field team. So it's similar to how Bocce is run with typical peers and students with disabilities participating. So they're practicing and they should have 2 meets this spring. We're trying to recruit other schools from the county. Right now, it's only one in the county participating, but there's some other schools in the county like Fox Chapel, Seneca Valley, that we're able to participate along with. As Mr. Dolph said, the Unified Bocce has begun at middle school, also at Todd Lane. Those same students that are participating in that are planning a whole school engagement event for their buildings this spring that will promote inclusion and acceptance. As far as gifted goes, those teachers have had to be really creative this year. A lot of their things are inter-school competitions and field trips and things like that. But they have found a way to do a lot of those things virtually. We do have 8 students who will be participating in the Academic Games National Competition. That's taking place this weekend and next weekend, and that's going to be completely virtual for this year. They also did a virtual forensics competition, which is more of a speaking and debate and poetry kind of thing. And we had multiple students participate in that as well. 3 of our middle school students received first place in their events. They did a virtual STEM Connects challenge at Todd Lane and at the middle school. Our Todd Lane teams took first and third place. And I want to thank Ms. Gargatti because she provided a lot of technological support for that. At the middle school, we had first and second place, and those first place teams will advance to a state competition. And at the middle school, they've been creative with technology to meet different people with different careers, to do some job exploration. They've extended that to some other countries such as Paris, Philippines, Germany. So they're starting to learn a little more about culture, different languages, and COVID across the world. And so they're getting really creative, trying to keep the kids engaged in some different things.
Ms. Park, what ages are the academic games competitors?
We have 2 at Todd Lane, 2 for the middle school and 2 at high school.
Okay, nice.
Mr. Saccone?
Spring sports is well underway. We're 6 weeks in. We got about 4 weeks left. Just caught word that our girls softball team won tonight, which was a big section win against Montour. Anticipating if things go well, they could be in the playoffs. We have baseball. Boys tennis is doing a really good job. Their outcome today, we won the section. So, it's first time in Central Valley history for a boys tennis team. They went undefeated in the section. So it's kudos to them. 2 players on our team, Christian Kosinski and Ryan Hardick. Entered the section singles, finished 1 and 2. They actually had to play against each other, and they moved on to the WPIL singles just the other day, but both got to be eliminated. But
You both made it to the quarterfinals.
correct, and tremendous job from our boys team. I mean, we do have 1 section game left. I should have jumped the gun, but we should be okay. But things are going smoothly. So we're anticipating here coming down the home stretch. That's it.
Mr. Miller, anything from you?
Just I want to say that, the month of May, we have a lot of evening activities, including all the ones that Mr. McCreary talked about. And a lot of those activities, we're dividing up the schedule to live stream most of the indoor ones to our parents. So when we publish his schedule on the website, we'll annotate which ones are going to be live on our website for our parents to watch.
Mr. Admiral, I have a question. For next year, if we continue what we're going through this year, do we have to upgrade anything, or do we okay with the technology that we already have? Do we have to get new stuff
For in the classroom or for streaming events?
for streaming? Well, for either or, for both.
For streaming events, we're already working on a plan to make upgrades to the high school gymnasium and some changes to how we do the football games, the stadium, and soccer games and other sports. The way we ran the streams at the middle school ran very well, so I think we're going to copy that setup to the other facilities. And then we had talked about maybe adding some additional features, maybe some audio and things like that. As far as the classroom goes, we actually had an administrative meeting. We're going to be meeting, as a group to discuss what upgrades or changes we need to make to the classrooms going forward for next year. So,
Yeah, I asked all the building principals to, come up with the good, the bad, and the ugly of the synchronous learning environment, what we can do to improve, do better. So we're in the process of evaluating all that.
Great. I'm going to just go around. Start, Mr. Zirinsky, do you have anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Bowman.
Yeah, kudos to our music program for national recognition we received, and to the middle school administration and faculty for receiving the Schools to Watch recognition again. Good job. Keep up the good work.
Ross,
I'm good.
Dr. Yanis.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, I think it's great that you guys, the staff, has included the children in all the different activities to try to get them back to normalcy as much as you can and still be safe. I just think that it's really great that you're thinking about all these things to try to make it as normal as possible. That's so important with all the different things going on with mental health issues and different things. So I think you're doing a great job, and just keep it up. Like you said, let's finish this last 7 weeks or whatever with good intentions.
I don't have anything.
I say at most meetings, I think a lot of times we see things running so smoothly, kind of take it for granted, but we know there's a lot of work that's going into our district run as smoothly as it's going, and it's all you guys doing that work. And I appreciate all the extra effort to make the students have as normal experience as possible during these times. And it's just a credit to you guys and the work you do. And it's been a lot of work this year, and it's appreciated.
Just like to second what Mr. Bloom said and Mr. Moad said. And the only question I have, is there going to be a school picnic at Kennywood this year?
Yeah, there is a school picnic. The Kennywood picnic this year is on Sunday, June 6th, I believe is the picnic.
June 6th?
Yes. Now on the calendar, you'll see that it says June 7th is Kennywood Day, but that was moved, but it's still recognized as a school picnic day because contractually we have employees that work on the school picnic. But it is the 6th. We will not be providing transportation anyway.
Take a day off.
Buses, and we brought buses, and kids would get on the buses here and go, and then they'd come back, and I think that's gonna start to go by the wayside.
Okay.
And I don't have anything. I said congratulations to you guys, and I do know everybody is working hard. So if no one else has it, is that a motion?
Yes, it is.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.